Finally, he speaks. Zhang Linghe breaks down after pregnancy reveal. But is it too late for Bai Lu? 4 days, the world waited. 4 days, she was alone. Alone in the storm of public whispers, alone in the decision that could define the rest of her life, alone in the eerie stillness that followed one of the most heartbreaking reveals in entertainment history. Bai Lu is pregnant. And the man who could be the father, the same man whose silence was louder than a scream, said nothing. Until now. Because just when fans were ready to close the chapter on Zhang Linghe forever, just when the heartbreak had finally turned into quiet acceptance, he returned. Not with a statement. Not with a photo. But with a tearful confession caught on camera, unfiltered, unscripted, and impossible to ignore. And the world, once again, stopped breathing. It happened during a private event in Hangzhou, a closed-door gathering meant to celebrate the wrap of his upcoming film. Cameras weren't supposed to be rolling. No press was invited. It was supposed to be a moment of gratitude and quiet celebration with cast and crew. But someone filmed it anyway. And thank God they did. Because what Zhang Linghe said that night wasn't just an apology. It was a plea. The video begins with him standing on stage, a champagne glass in hand, eyes distant and heavy. There's light laughter in the background, people unaware that they are seconds away from watching something unforgettable. He begins by thanking the crew. Then the director. Then his co-stars. And then he stops. His voice cracks. He lowers the mic slightly. And says, "I know you're all expecting me to smile and move on. But I can't. Not tonight. Not with what I've done." The room falls silent. He lifts his gaze. And continues. "She loved me more honestly than anyone ever has. She stood beside me when she didn't have to. And I broke that." He doesn't name Bai Lu. He doesn't have to. Tears slip down his face. And the room watches, spellbound. "She's pregnant," he says, voice trembling. "And I don't know if I deserve to be part of that story. But I want to be." The crowd is silent. Some begin to cry. And then comes the line that rips every heart in half. "If she'll have me, if she'll trust me one more time, I'll spend the rest of my life trying to deserve her forgiveness. And if she chooses to do this alone, I'll still protect her. I'll protect them both." The video leaked online just before dawn. By noon, it had been viewed over 60 million times. Fans didn't know how to react. Some wept. Some raged. Some forgave. But most asked the same question. Is it too late? Because while Zhang Linghe's words felt sincere, they arrived on a timeline dripping with hesitation. Where was this emotion when Bai Lu first broke down on set? Where was this promise when she posted the photo of a crib and quietly begged for space? Where was this man when she stood on the edge of the world, deciding whether or not to bring new life into it? And now that she's found strength in solitude, now he chooses to speak? Many fans felt conflicted. But one person felt more torn than anyone. Bai Lu. According to a close source, Bai Lu saw the video within minutes of its leak. She didn't react immediately. Didn't post. Didn't text. Didn't cry. She just watched, in complete silence. And when her friend asked what she was thinking, she replied with only one word. Too late. But was it? That same evening, she was spotted walking alone near Westlake, wrapped in a long coat, her face bare, headphones in her ears. One passerby who recognized her said she looked peaceful but haunted, like someone trying to stay upright in a world that keeps shaking. She reportedly walked for nearly an hour. And when she returned to her apartment, she called her manager and cancelled all her scheduled shoots for the next 3 weeks. No reason given. Just silence. Again. While Bai Lu pulled away from the public, Zhang Linghe reappeared in full force. Within 24 hours of the video leaking, he posted an official statement on Weibo, heartfelt, direct, and longer than any message he'd ever shared. The post read, "I made mistakes. I hesitated when I should have spoken. I vanished when I should have stood beside her. But I am not running anymore. I love her. I always did. And no matter what she chooses, whether I am part of her future or not, I will protect it from the shadows if I must. I will not speak again until she does. My silence now is not distance. It's respect." Fans immediately split into two camps. Those who praised his growth, and those who called it performative damage control. Some reminded the world that Bai Lu's tears were real. Her fear was real. Her loneliness, her confusion, her heartbreak, all of it played out in public while he remained invisible. And now, when it's too late to fix the past, he chooses to mourn it. Others pointed out that grief is not always loud. That some people take time to face themselves. That maybe, just maybe, Zhang Linghe's delay was not cowardice, but a man trying to become better before stepping back into her light. But while fans debated, a new and unexpected twist arrived. A leaked hospital document, blurred, but seemingly authentic, made its way to a gossip page just 2 days later. It revealed a follow-up appointment scheduled for Bai Lu at a maternity consultation unit. The document was quickly deleted. But not before fans saw the note at the bottom. First trimester progress check. Estimated week, 8. Suddenly, the internet buzzed louder than ever. She hadn't ended it. Not yet. She was still deciding. Still holding on. Still carrying both the child and the weight of the world. So where do things stand now? According to a well-placed source close to her team, Bai Lu has made one quiet move behind the scenes. She has hired a new PR consultant, one known for handling delicate transitions, from public breakdowns to private comebacks. She's also been seen meeting discreetly with a legal advisor, though no official explanation has been released. Some believe she's discussing custody options. Others think she's planning for press protection if she chooses to raise the child alone. And while her fans remain loyal, the pressure is intensifying. Every corner of the internet has an opinion. Every headline feels like a hammer. Every silence, a scream. But those closest to her say something is shifting. She's not scared anymore, one friend said. She's sad, yes. But not scared. For the first time, she's not making decisions from pain. She's thinking about what it would mean to raise a child with or without him, and what it would mean to live that truth honestly, without apology. Bai Lu pregnant and unsure if she'll keep the baby, Zhang Linghe silent. The news wasn't meant to come out. Not yet. Not like this. But in a week already overflowing with emotion, scandal, and silent storms, a single whisper shattered everything. Bai Lu is pregnant. And the man at the center of the storm with her, Zhang Linghe, the actor who once promised her everything, then watched it all fall apart, has reportedly gone completely silent. Now the internet is ablaze. Not just with curiosity, but with something far more volatile. Fear. Fear that she's facing this alone. Fear that she might walk away. Fear that one of the most talked about love stories in entertainment history is about to take its most heartbreaking turn yet. Because according to a close friend who broke the silence, not even Bai Lu knows if she's going to keep the baby. It all began with a routine checkup. Bai Lu had been spotted earlier last week leaving a private clinic in Shanghai's French concession, dressed in oversized clothes, her face hidden behind a mask and cap. At the time, most thought it was nothing more than stress management after her emotionally intense live interview with Zhang Linghe. But what no one knew was that behind that mask, she was holding on to a truth too fragile to face in public. She had missed her period. And deep down, she already suspected the truth. The test she took the night before had been positive. But she needed to be sure. So she walked into that clinic with her heart in her throat. And left with her entire world changed. Only 2 people knew at first, her manager, and one close friend who had remained by her side throughout the emotional rollercoaster of the past few months. It was that same friend who finally spoke to the media anonymously, but unmistakably shaken. "I don't think she's ready," they said. "She's strong, but she's also still grieving. This isn't about the baby alone. It's about everything else that's still broken." They didn't confirm how far along she is. They didn't reveal whether she had spoken to Zhang Linghe directly. But what they did say changed the tone of the story completely. "She's thinking about not keeping it," the friend admitted. And the internet exploded. Fans were divided within minutes. Some offered immediate support, tweeting messages of love, solidarity, and strength. Others begged her to reconsider, pointing out how brave she'd been, how deeply she had loved, how this child could be a new beginning. But then came the critics. The ones who questioned the timing. The ones who accused her of using pregnancy as a distraction from scandal. The ones who turned what should have been a private, sacred moment into public chaos. One particularly cruel headline read, "Is the baby real or just a sympathy move?" And while most of Bai Lu's fanbase rallied to her defense, it was already too late. The damage had been done. Once again, she was left to clean up a mess she hadn't made alone. And once again, Zhang Linghe said nothing. He hasn't posted. Hasn't tweeted. Hasn't appeared publicly since their live interview, the one where Bai Lu revealed she had seen footage of him embracing his ex, just days before they were supposed to go on camera together. He had admitted to the meeting. He had confessed he didn't know if he still had feelings. And though the audience applauded his honesty, Bai Lu didn't. She left the studio quietly that night, got into a black van, and disappeared from the city for over a week. Now we know why. She wasn't just disappearing. She was deciding. Insiders claim that since returning from her brief retreat, Bai Lu has spent most of her time in quiet reflection. She's turned down all drama offers. Postponed promotional events. Suspended endorsement deals. Even her upcoming interview with a major luxury brand has been placed on indefinite hold. She doesn't want the world watching her every move right now, a studio source said. She just wants to breathe. But breathing has become increasingly difficult. Because while she's been trying to find clarity in silence, the rest of the world has been speaking louder than ever. Tabloids speculate that Zhang Linghe was unaware of the pregnancy until the news broke online. One paper even claimed he found out from a fan comment under an unrelated Weibo post. If true, that would mean the man who might be the father of Bai Lu's child, the man she cried for, forgave, then exposed, hasn't even reached out since learning the truth. The silence is deafening. And fans are furious. A trending hashtag now dominates the conversation. #Where is Zhang Linghe? It started small, but within 12 hours, it took over Chinese and international fan spaces alike. Underneath the hashtag, fans post messages like, "She deserves support, not silence." Pregnant, broken, and still standing, Bai Lu is stronger than ever. If he really loved her, he would have spoken by now. Some fans have even begun organizing a digital protest, calling for brands associated with Zhang Linghe to pull their contracts unless he shows basic decency and addresses the situation publicly. But others are urging patience. He might be struggling too, one post read. Maybe he's just trying to figure out what to say. This isn't easy for anyone. Still, the pressure mounts. And with every hour of silence, the tension grows. Meanwhile, Bai Lu's personal life has grown more complicated behind the scenes. According to her friend, the one who initially leaked the pregnancy news, she has spoken to a professional counselor about the emotional weight of her decision. She's not impulsive, the friend explained. She's trying to think clearly. But her heart is torn in half. Part of her wants to walk away from everything, the relationship, the media, even the career that once gave her so much light. She talks about starting over, the friend said. A new country. A quiet life. A place where no one knows her name. But another part of her still holds hope, not just for herself, but for the child growing inside her. She touches her stomach when she thinks no one is looking, the friend added. Like she's already protecting something.